how one effect that I experienced through the internalized racism and just the challenges in the dynamics that I went through in life caused me to not be able to value my own life due to looking the way I do, and that is Chinese and being an immigrant from China and growing up in the West and not being able to see myself um, in situations where there was more freedom and more love. So, not on the TVs and the movies, not in the shows. So, therefore, my examples was, well, mostly in life and other Asians. And over time, it's taken me my exploration of understanding why and how the culture I come from and how it's very traumatized in the way that I've been able to learn and gain the awareness through my explorations in self-development, in spirituality, in learning about trauma, in learning about how things have been working and how it's affecting all of us and how it affected me. And now, frankly, watching a movie like it's called Sun, A, and then the word Sun, S-U-N. It's a Taiwanese film. It's an amazing film. It came out late 2019, 2020 kind of thing. And it's on Netflix, and I highly recommend it. But as an Asian person, just watching a movie like this, and I know it's a movie, but movies represent things that happen in real life. And there's a reason why there are so many movies now portraying life and highlighting the challenges human beings are going through in life, because we've all been going through it. But I've been exploring how what happened affected me and what being this representation affected me in trying to understand how I want to create my life. And so I realized that wasn't the path for me, trying to follow people that look like me. And in my emotional experience of my life, the stories that I identified with, how I saw myself, perceived myself in comparison to others, was very much in reflection in what I was trying to be in congruence to people that look like me. And a lot of people, I'm realizing now, are in pain. And that's a lot of people, and everyone, people from every group is in pain. But the group that I come from, and now I've been able to recognize over time why I was in so much pain and why I didn't have the value to honor, to know how to take care of the pain and the suffering and the struggle I was going through in a patient, gentle, understanding, accepting, kind, compassionate, respectful, dignified way, a caring way, a self-caring way, a self-loving way. Because that concept, self-love, years ago certainly was just like people thought it was narcissism. So now we have the understanding that we get to love ourselves, and through learning to even exploring what that journey even means and trying things out, it's the increasing awareness that has really helped me to understand what I've been through, how it affected me, what I chose, how I chose to identify with what I was experiencing, the emotions, the thoughts in my head, and what that created for me in terms of my life. And through my interpretation of that experience, that caused me to take action through that interpretation, causing the cycle of perception, experience, choice, effect, etc. And so now I can realize, yeah, because I come from a culture where so many are very traumatized, and then traumatized parents pass their traumas down to their children in a unique way, and then on. And I certainly experienced that from my parents and family, and people I was connected to. I recognized my friends who was also from similar cultures, had similar experiences with different traumas. Of course, we all experience different traumas in our own way, right? And what I mean is a lot of them are similar and same traumas, but we all experience different ways of that and different accumulations in all these different ways. So it's being willing to understand my own path uniquely and forgive myself and forgive what I chose to experience and to interpret and to choose, and through that I can have the understanding that I get to choose how I respond to life now, in the now, which is all I have. So it's that whole concept of healing is like freeing yourself in the now, where I get to do with myself every now that happens. If the old pattern, the old thoughts come up, old feelings about myself come up, I get to, in the now, hold space for that. And that I mean by that is feeling it without reacting to it in an unkind, in an anxious, in a maladaptive, in a toxic, in an addictive way. And so just by being willing to practice, I get to, right, support myself into releasing that energy. And through that release, I have more spaciousness to work with. And through that spaciousness, I gain more clarity and more awareness. And with more awareness, the seed of awareness will continue to expand simply by being willing to discover it, plant it, and explore it, contemplate with it. And through the awareness, then the choice to release, to surrender, to forgive can happen with greater ease, with grace, with joy, with exploration, because all those pieces are medicine. All those concepts like joy, exploration, dance, serendipity, etc., are all medicines to be discovered, to choose. And I know I've actually been willing to choose all of them. And it's through my love of movies that influenced me and connected me with the energies and the mimicry. And therefore I can experience that and then start to mimic it in my own life. Instead of what I used to do as a child or as a young adult, think I could only mimic those that look like me. This was my experience, right? If I grew up without seeing someone that looked like me or represented me, living a kind of life that now I can realize is more free, is allowing for one's creativity more, is honoring one's sexual nature and not shaming it, not repressing and denying it, not hiding it, is allowing oneself to learn to create relationships based on mutual respect and love and care, not necessarily so much on like things like money and looks. So all these pieces has affected me in different ways, right? And it's not just the racial aspect, but it's cultural, it's societal, it's the times we're moving through, it's just being human. And through that awareness, I can realize how all those things affected me and how they all accumulated to add to my own personal mythology, my own personal narrative, and how that affected me and what that caused me to do. And through the understanding that I can change my story and realize a greater, a deeper, a more loving truth, I get to then act and believe from that space and that point of view. And it's simply an exploration of how creative we can be with the way we interpret life and respond to it. All the best to you.